Okay, this is I'm calling the meeting of our Planning and Zoning Commission to order. And to start us off, Brett, would you, let me say a prayer first. Please stand. Heavenly Father, thank you for all the gifts you've bestowed upon us. Keep us safe and help guide us in the process as we make the decisions today, that they be of the highest and best for all concerned, to help Denison move forward. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Brett?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Few little housekeeping things, as Charlie would say, is that this is a decision-making body only in replats and rezoning are we the final decision. Otherwise, everything goes before council, and so I think the decision we make today is
It will go to council.
so
It will go to council
It will
on
go to
October 2nd.
October 2nd.
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
the date for that. So because we can have public comments, citizens may speak on items that are listed in the agenda, anything that is on the agenda. And do we have any cards? So the public comment section is closed. So the consent agenda just contains the minutes. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes? A motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mike seconds, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our first public hearing is, we only have one. So 4A. Ms. York?
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Item 4A, receive a report, hold a discussion, conduct a public hearing, and make a recommendation on a request to rezone property legally described as Olive Lot 16, Block 7 of Tone's Second Edition plat, in addition to the city of Denison, Grayson County, Texas, as shown by Plat of Record, Volume 90, page 284 of the Deed of Records of Grayson County, Texas, also known as 1701 West Walker Street, GCAD, property ID number 141050, from the two-family duplex zoning district to the SF5 single-family residential zoning district to allow for residential use, case number 2023-085Z. This is an aerial view of that subject property, right on the corner of Bush Avenue and Walker Street. And it is currently zoned 2F, two-family, as is the surrounding neighborhood. There is a single-family 5 zoning district, the requested zoning district to the west. And I will say that the area has predominantly been developed in a single-family manner that would comply with the SF5 standards. There are a few duplexes intermittent in that area, as well as some homes that have the required carport and the required garages, but not very many. There is a mistake in the staff report that I provided you. This property is measured 50 off the front and about 150 down the side. The staff report reflects 100 down the side with a 5,000 square foot area. It's actually probably closer to 7,500. The reason why the applicant is requesting this rezone from the 2F, two-family duplex zoning district, is to accommodate a smaller or basically a lesser of development standards for their new construction. In this 2F zoning district, if you're to construct a single-family home, it is to comply with the SF 7.5 development standards. couple of those standards is the size of the home is larger than what's required by SF5. It's 1,200 square feet. But one of the big things is the parking requirements. The 7.5 zoning district requires a 2-car garage with 2 additional parking spaces in the drive. The SF5 requires a single-car garage or a 1-car carport with an additional space in the drive. So it's just a little bit different. The applicant wishes to develop the property in the SF5 manner with a 1-car garage rather than the 2-car garage, and that is where this request is coming from. Looking at the zoning map, this property is not adjacent to the requested zoning district. However, the future land use plan that's built within our comprehensive plan does call this area out as neighborhood. And so as this complies with the future land use plan, staff recommends approval. But I'm present for any questions that you may have.
Okay, we do have one comment about this from Sheldon Berger, that he prefers that it stay 2F. And as far as building something there, that's not a problem for him. Is Sheldon here? Don't see him. So I'd like to ask him why, but can't.
This is a support the request.
He supports the request, but he would rather keep it 2F.
I think it says he wants his property to remain the same.
Yeah, which is, this is not his property, right? Okay.
No, sir.
Yeah, this, because obviously this will change his property.
Is the developer here?
Will you open the public hearing?
I'm opening the public hearing, sorry. State your name for the record, please.
Josh Hawley, 3348 West Stafford. It's loud. So essentially, I just think for a duplex, it's it's a small lot, too small of a lot, or is that right?
So the lot is a legal lot of record. So while it may not meet the development standard requirement for lot size in the 2F or in the SF 7.5, it can be developed. It's just a legal non-conforming lot.
Okay. But switching over to making it a single family, I think it'd be better. And to your point, the 7.5 and the 5.0, the reason why we want 5.0 is on a corner lot, the side setback on a corner really makes the width of the house narrow. And so for a 2-car garage, you'd pretty much only see a 2-car garage. Because I think from the corner, you need 15 feet. So on a 50-foot lot, you're only going to have, because of the other side setback, you have 5 foot, you're going to have 30 feet of frontage. Garage being about 20 feet, I mean, it's predominantly going to look like a garage. And so I think a single car garage would look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. Any more?
So are your plans to build a garage or a carport there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, a garage.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you could have a 2-car, off of Bush, but Bush is a busier street, and it would be a detached, or essentially, yeah, we have a 1-car garage that would be coming off of Walker, which is, not as busy of a street, and the house will look a lot better, not being predominantly garage showing.
Do you plan to put the garage behind the?
No, it'll face the front.
It'll face the front?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's the lot width size again?
50 feet.
50?
There's-
Any other questions?
Many single-car garages in that area.
Yeah, it looks like most of that, I was surprised that it's zoned the way it is because they look like they're mostly single-family homes in that area.
They are.
Hard to tell from the map. Any other questions?
If I may. Josh, part of your zoning exhibit that was provided shows the car coming off of, or the garage coming off of Bush. That's
Okay.
what was provided with the zoning packet.
And maybe that's the house that he put forth.
Okay.
But, yeah, it would be a single car.
Just let it be noted that that's part of this agenda packet as well as the site plan that was provided, but it
Okay.
does show that the single car is coming off of Bush.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any discussion?
Anybody else? Okay, that's great. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion, please.
It's a public hearing.
Oh, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak to this? Yes, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Peggy Gardner, 2705 West Washington
Can you
Street.
speak up a little bit or bring the mic?
Okay.
Keep put it down there low. You can put
It's
it
okay.
closer to your mouth.
All right, 2705 West Washington Street, Denison, Texas. And I am absolutely in favor of rezoning from duplex to single-family home. And I plead that the developers and builders, please, wherever, and the Planning and Zoning Committee, can change any planning, duplex lots. Go ahead and just make them all single-family homes. One-car garages at this point, and especially in this neighborhood that we're talking about, that's not unusual or uncalled for. I think that's not a problem there. And I say, let's do more single-family homes. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
My name is Monique Cooksey. Thank you for having us here today. I live at 2814 West Washington Street. Peggy and I are neighbors, about a block apart. We bought our single-family home, my husband and I, in 2015, and we are right there across from an empty lot that used to be Lane School, I guess. And now we're surrounded by duplexes across the street, which, makes us not very happy. But that being said, they're already built. I agree with Peggy that if we are going to start or continue building, if we could go away from duplexes back to single-family homes, that would be wonderful. But based on my experience also from across the street, if we do have any more duplexes, if we could get away from single-car garages, that causes a huge bottleneck for those people who live there. Because if you're a married couple in a single garage family, one person has to back up while the other person pulls in, and then the other person pulls back behind it. It's a constant going back and forth and whirligigging around so that the person who's leaving first or next, so they have to plan like all of their father did, and it just creates a lot of confusion and congestion in the streets just from people swapping cars out of their single driveways. So that's really all I have to say, other than if we could go to more single-family housing with two-car garages, that'd be great. But I do agree with what's being proposed today. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
do believe, didn't we address a lot of that duplex with the zoning ordinance? A lot of them came in before that change. That's where a
Yes.
lot of those duplexes came in, but now there's a lot more standards to have a two-family duplex, as far as garage and parking and so forth. And I think restricted, I think it's harder to do those now today.
So yes, that is correct. So the after the infill overlay was repealed, we did quite a few amendments to all of our zoning districts. The 2F, two-family duplex zoning district prior to the zoning amendments didn't require any covered parking. It does require a one-car garage right now. That's something we can look at in the future, but that was a new addition within the last year. And then the only zoning district that really accommodates duplexes, unless there is a significant acreage for it, is the two-family duplex. It is an allowed use in like the multifamily 1 and the multifamily 2 areas. However, if the lot size is not 100 by 100 equaling 10,000 square feet, then it cannot be built. So the 2F is the only by right technically.
So I'm not really concerned with the garage. I'm concerned with the two-car parking space, even if it butts up to the house with no garage or a carport, just that whirly gigging around. So if that helps reinforce the decisions that you've already made, then I guess my husband and I are just some of the lucky ones who got trapped in the old zoning or whatever. But I do approve of the change recommended in this proposal.
Thank you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like we got away from zoning two-family, that those would be only the ones that are currently zoned that way? Is that right?
So this is, anything that's established as two-family has been established for several years. If someone were wanting to come in and rezone areas for the accommodation of duplexes, there's processes for that. However, we haven't had anything of that brought to us lately, but there's always processes for that, and there's staff review that would take place.
So it's still possible?
Yes, there's no moratorium put on that zoning district, but it would have to work with the neighborhood, the land use plan, and, you know, it would be at staff's discretion to move forward with that and bring it before the commission for recommendation and council for approval. Or for action, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Would you like to speak again?
I have a question more than anything else.
Please come to the podium.
Okay, sorry. If an area has already been planned for the two-family duplexes, is there a means, without being a developer or a builder, where citizenry can go for or ask for a zoning change on their own? Because we have so many of these single-family homes and single-family established neighborhoods with an empty spot that has already been claimed as, or zoned as a duplex, and there will eventually be built a duplex.
I
And
believe
the only
it has to
reason
come
this
from the
fellow,
property owner.
the property owner is
Yeah,
the
you
only
have to-
one, is the only one who can make that change?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
We can talk a little bit more afterwards, but the city cannot initiate a rezone, and neither can the neighborhood. It'd be up to the property owners.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if I don't see any more comments, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any other questions from commissioners?
No.
Discussion? Motion, please.
I move to recommend approval of changing the zoning of the subject property from the two-family duplex 2F zoning district to the SF5 single-family residential zoning district.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any staff updates?
I have one. I was going to let you know that the landscaping ordinance, or the landscape ordinance, that was brought before the commission on the 12th was approved by council. So we will be moving forward with the amendments to that. And then Mary.
I wanted to let you know that we hired our new building official, and he started Monday, last Monday, I think.
Is he an inspector or?
No, he is the building official, so
Okay.
he's our chief building official. We'll be holding a builders and developers meeting in October, so that he can introduce himself and get in front of everybody and discuss some of the things that he's going to put in place and that we're going to work towards as a city. So just wanted to make you aware of that. His name is Zach, and he's upstairs, so if you wanted to say hello, you may do so, of course.
Well, I think that will be very helpful, won't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Were there any changes on the landscape or anything?
There were quite a few changes, yes. Lots of, basically the way that Phyllis presented it was previously we required the 8% of the area be landscaped. It's more specific on what's required, and the amount of landscaping that was required basically equated to the 8%. However, the requirement of trees increased substantially. So landscaping strips, especially in the overlay areas and in commercial areas, so there was quite a bit that was added to it. With the addition also of requiring a tree in the front yard of single-family homes, and for those yards to be sodded.
Was that changes from what we discussed, or are you talking about just
Oh, no,
changes
those are the
overall?
same.
No, I was
all the
talking
same.
about
Oh,
anything
okay, I'm
from
sorry.
what we
I'm sorry.
discussed. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Evans.
I couldn't remember if there was something that we had recommended or.
Yes, the foundation landscaping, the shrubbery that Chairman Shear mentioned,
Shrubs where there had been a tree requirement?
that is for commercial areas. So, but I think Mr. Shear mentioned in the last meeting requiring something like along the foundation to break it up, and so that was included as well on single-family homes.
Everything that you recommended was incorporated and approved, so, yeah.
Okay. Good deal.
Thank you, Ms. York. Any other business? Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We are adjourned at 10:21.